Today's making sense question. I'm concerned about my income tax bill. Specifically, do I get taxed on money I've never received from my customers? It's a great question. There's basically two main ways, accounting methods or tax methods that you get taxed on. And as a business, you need to select one or the other. Number one is accrual basis, ACCRUAL basis, accrual. The other is cash basis. For simplicity, we'll go to cash basis to start out. In short, what cash basis means from a tax perspective, that you only get taxed on monies you receive from your customers and monies you pay out to your vendors. So it's really saying like what hit your bank account or what did hit your bank account, and then you get your tax bill at that point. Accrual basis is basically different, where essentially you get taxed when basically the services were provided by either the customer or vendor, right? So if you invoice a customer for December services for 10 grand on December 31st, you don't get paid till next calendar year. That on accrual basis, that 10 grand would be included on the accrual basis tax return. If you do cash basis tax return, you wouldn't get taxed until the year you actually receive the money. So we see a lot of businesses, small businesses, and specifically, service providers, where you're invoicing customers on terms and you get paid at a later date, to do cash basis tax return. At Accountfully, what we do for our clients is on a management internal reporting perspective or controller level CFO reporting, we do accrual basis. That's how you can help manage your business, understand your profitability, your break even, your cash flow, et cetera. But then we, have them get taxed from an income tax basis on a cash basis. So you can kind of do it different from like management accounting, like internal reporting, and then tax basis. And if, as a service provider, what it allows you to do is basically, if you're on cash basis, then any money you like invoice or receive at, month end from your customers that doesn't come until January, you don't get taxed until the calendar year do it. Additionally, you may have $100,000 invoice that hasn't gotten paid, that if you got taxed on the accrual basis, you have to pay tax on it, but you don't even have that money yet. So that doesn't make any sense, right? So majority of clients do that cash basis if they're small, because then they can, you can even push up like payments, pay your rent bill for the first 3 months of next year in December 31st, right? So then you can get that as a deduction this year from a tax perspective. There may be reasons why you want to do accrual basis, right? As a small business. Number one is, let's say that you take deposits from customers that are refundable, or even not refundable, just kind of there, but like event companies, right? You get or a wedding event or venue, you get a deposit up front this year. The actual event doesn't happen until next year. And at some point you may have to deposit or refund that money back to them, right? Beforehand for whatever reason. Well, you may not want to get taxed on that portion of money that you just haven't deposit or escrow until next year. So there's reasons for both. But again, at the end of the day, understand that if you're cash basis on a tax return, you get taxed when you receive money from customers and when you pay those out. Like those can be included on your tax return. If you're on accrual basis, it's when the services were rendered. At the end of the day, work with your tax CPA to make sure that you're essentially on the correct tax basis that you do to minimize your taxes and to support your business and your personal situation long term. And a lot of times you're able to select that, or on your initial return of your business, you select that in year one, but you can always change it if need be. So again, it's a good thing to kind of understand and see what you're based on, because then you can make better decisions to minimize tax impact long term. And if you need to make a change, work with your tax CPA. So at the end of the day, I hope you learned a few things today, specifically what's the difference between cash basis taxes and accrual basis taxes. And really appreciate you guys listening and making sense. Thanks.